Yeah, I know. It's been a while since I put this on, hasn't it? But then again, it's been a while since I've done like a truly One Piece themed video. And unfortunately, it's the most stereotypical One Piece video you probably could do. Next to a chapter review, maybe. Yo, what's up guys, the Insane Game Freak here, and yes, I am doing a top 5 video. The one thing I've noticed is that a lot of people don't seem to know my favorites when it comes to certain anime, and I realize I haven't made that perfectly clear because I haven't done a lot of top 5s. So, if you've been looking forward to seeing some top 5s for shows that me and you just happen to both like, leave them in the comment section of what other top 5s for certain anime should I do, whether it's top 5 FMA characters, top 5 second rate characters, top 5 snafu characters, whatever. Because I feel like a lot of you don't even know which characters I like the best, and it's probably because I haven't really made it inherently clear to you. So, with that being said, obviously we're going to do One Piece things first. Top 5 favorite Strawhats. And people are going, why is it top 5? Why can't you just listen from least favorite to favorite? Because I don't want to fucking do that. That's the first problem. The second thing is that everyone does least favorite to favorite. I want to just do top 5 because most people do top 5s when it comes to animes anyway. And on top of that, I want you to guess what the other 4 are. Now, eventually I probably will say it, but I'm going to leave that as a secret for right now. And no, Jinbei is not going to be a part of the Straw Hat list that I'm grabbing from. I'm only grabbing the official Straw Hats, which is everything from Luffy to Brook. If you want favorite One Piece characters, top 5 One Piece favorite characters, let me know. Leave it in the comments. But for right now, this is just top 5 favorite Straw Hats. And honestly, let's just get into it. I haven't done one of these really at all. The last top 5 I did was a Pokemon movies thing. And not all of you watch Pokemon or watched anything past the first movie. Or the second movie, honestly. So, anyways, let's get into it with my number 5. Ow! Yes, my number 5 is Frankie. And it seems, you know what's kind of funny to me is I've noticed Frankie seems to be like at the lower end of most people's list. People put him either around the 3rd or 2nd worst in terms of the Straw Hats. And granted, I like all the Straw Hats overall, so people don't take this as a hate thing. Just know that, you know, there are certain Straw Hats you like more than others. And Frankie, I think what hurts Frankie the most is pretty much his introduction and maybe the way he is now. I think those are like his 2 worst sections. And they're particularly wise because his introduction, he was introduced as kind of a villainous character, and you beat up Usopp. You don't really gain fans when one of the first major things you do in the series that you're introduced in is beating up a likable character. Yeah, Oda didn't want you to start off very well. But honestly, by the end of CP9, I freaking loved him. It's because he has such a weird and goofy style. The fact that he's a cyborg, the fact that he has all these random abilities like the fresh fire and the master nails, and the fact that he thinks he has torpedoes in his shoulders, but they're not really torpedoes, they're just freaking normal rockets, even though they're supposed to be homing rockets, but what the homing is him running around doing this and going, I also love the way he fights. We don't have that many hand-to-hand combat fighters. I think the only other person we have would be Luffy. Frankie's the only other character I believe that fights with his fists, and I like that. Especially because he does more of that traditional fighting, like the boxing. You know, Frankie boxing. And and then you mix in all the weird cyborg abilities, which sometimes work and sometimes don't. And the fact that they're all weird as shit. Like when you, especially time skip Frankie, you know, you have him as like General Frankie, and the actual robot doesn't do anything, and Frankie's usually doing all the stuff in the background, which was kind of a funny gag to show off his new abilities and whatnot. I love that, and especially with that whole fight with Baby 5 and Buffalo, we got a lot more expanse into how ridiculous his attacks can get. Granted, I say the newer Frankie might not be liked as much, particularly because his outfit's the most, his look is the most outlandish. He doesn't get that many fights. Honestly, I think the Fukuro fight, pretty much after CP9, he doesn't really get a real fight until, I guess you would say, Fishman Island / Punk Hazard. Those aren't traditional Frankie fights. Those are more of general Frankie fights. And I think we're all hoping he gets back to the Frankie boxing and going ham like a motherfucking G. But I love his weird style, the fact that he always confuses, it's like he seems to have this pervert reference to like everything. I like the fact that like the crew members he gets along with always enjoy me too. Like for example, he seems to be the one who clicks the most with like Robin and Usopp and Brook for various different reasons. And I like that dynamic because for the most part, some of them, half of the characters usually are just like, it's usually like Luffy, Chopper, Usopp, Brook, Sanji, like, they always seem to gather around Luffy, but I like it when the crew has their own little cliques inside of the crew. Frankie's kind of hard to explain because it's like the coolness of his appearance and what he is, the random ability stuff. That's the other thing about him. When you get Frankie in a fight, you usually don't know all what you're gonna get. It's like when his first real fight with Nero, Frankie Centauros, and the Centaur shit was on backwards. I would not have guessed that for a cyborg. Even for a cyborg, I'm just like, well, that was interesting. I like his comedy. He's like the manly man. That's the other thing that tells me on him, the manly man. One of my favorite scenes is when Luffy's running around in the armor and Thriller apart, and Frankie's like, "What the hell are you doing?" He's like, "I thought a real man like you would understand. It's a man's romance to wear armor." And he's like, and Luffy makes the comment about it's like, did your heart turn to robotics when you made yourself a cyborg? And Frankie gets so emotional about it and starts singing a song. I love that kind of shit about Frankie. He's cool. He's yeah, we gotta do it. Fuck it. It's super! And this is why I don't have a girlfriend. On to number 4. The Sniper King himself. We all knew he was gonna be in the top 5. I think he's in everybody's top 5 actually. He's probably one of the more likable Straw Hats. Motherfucking Usopp. Oh man, I think one of the main reasons why he's on everyone's top list is, for one, Usopp's supposed to represent the everyman, meaning the normal guy is supposed to relate to Usopp, which is so easy to do considering Usopp's like scared of everything, but he still gets out there and he fights and he goes in hard. He be beasting through these niggas. You can't fuck with my boy. You can't fuck with my boy. He got that swag. He got that pretty boy swag. He be sitting there hitting on rich girls, and rich girls like that shit. They like his long nose, man. Come on, he's pimping. But yeah, like the thing about Usopp is that, for one, he has the most development in the series. You actually get to see a true sense of growth from him, and how his goals kind of changed along the way, where it just went from being a brave warrior to the sea, that he wants to go visit the world of the giants, Elbaf. His fighting style is cool too, because he's like one of the few characters you're just like, most people who fight long range usually use something like a gun or something very stereotypical. He's the only character, anime and off the top of my head, who has become well known for fighting with a fucking slingshot and being a straight out beast with it. And if you question my boy's marksman skills, do you not remember when he shot Spandam from across from like the Ennis lobby section to near the Gates of Justice, which is like a good 100 miles off, and you had to calculate wind distance and all that shit? That was just G. And that also, which brings up another thing, the motherfucking Soga King. You cannot be a Usopp fan and not like Soga King. Soga King is just G. I love Soga King. People don't understand. Soga King is fucking beast. He has his own theme song. That's how beast Soga King is, okay? The other thing is just, as I said, he has these variety in attacks, because, you know, with a slingshot, you think the most he's probably gonna do is just shoot some bullets. No, we get phoenixes. We get the explosion stars. We get the shuriken. Granted, he's only used that once. I really wish Oda would bring that back. Just saying. And the fact that Usopp is probably one of the smarter fighters. He's the one of the guys who not only fights with his, you know, well, I wouldn't say brawn, I guess. He fights more with his head than I guess anyone else does, except for maybe like Nami or Chopper. No, Nami or Robin maybe. But it really just depends. But that's the cool thing about him, like the way he beat Perona. He didn't even beat Perona in terms of physical strength. He just if you look at it, he glued her to a bed, threw toy cockroaches on her, and hit her with a balloon. That's what Usopp did. And it caused the woman to pass out into a seizure. Only Usopp can do that kind of shit. Luffy would have just punched her. Zoro would have just, well, actually, Zoro, because Zoro has things with women. But you get my point. And I also like his gags. I mean, his whole coward act, and it's more of an act now than it was then. Then he was legitimately scared. He has like his gag moves, like Usopp's spell, and how every time he goes into his Usopp hammer fit, there's always like Usopp hammer, Usopp hammer, Usopp hammer, rubber band of doom, Usopp hammer, Usopp. Like he has a good mixture of comedy and like awesomeness in his fights, and the fact that he can take hits like a G. He's for right now we know that Usopp can take a 10-ton hammer to the face. Was it? No, it was a 4-ton hammer. I'm sorry, 4-ton bat to the face. Most normal guys can't do that. Usopp is a little legendary in his own right. You can't fuck with him. I mean, he might be leading a future Tonto army of 8,000 Tontos. We'll get into that when we get into it. I like his development. I like how he grew from being... He grew from having this fake sense of superiority over people to just being humble. Because the whole thing with Luffy was a sobering experience where he didn't truly respect him as captain, nor did he see him as captain. And we got to see him grow and understand you on his boat, you follow his rules, don't be on your bullshit. And you know you and him are, and they boys. That's the other thing. I love their relationship. They boys. Usopp is a G. Usopp is a G. He has some of the coolest fights. He has the coolest fights for like the random reasons. Like the whole, when he's fighting Mr. Four, Miss Merry Christmas, and how he got that whole shock value thing because he hit fucking Mr. Four with that damn frying pan hammer. And then they did the whole whack-a-mole thing. I love Usopp. You can't get no better than him when it gets... Every time I see him in a fight, I'm like, oh, I'm ready, let's go. Turn on TV, I ain't paying attention, nothing else. But Usopp's on. Soga King is on. That needs to come back too, Oda, I'm just saying. Anyways... Number 3. Yeah, you knew it wasn't gonna be that other motherfucking bitch. Yo ho yo ho. Okay, obviously time has passed between the last two, the last section of this video and this section because I recorded that video a year ago. Anyways, so to continue on with my top 5 Straw Hats, we go into the man himself, the Yo-Ho-Ho Master, Rock the Skeleton. Yo! And a lot of you are probably like, yo, why is it Brook #1? Since you're such a fanboy, because the 2 characters I think are better than him, but that doesn't mean I don't love this afro-wearing motherfucker. He's, oh God, as much as I fanboy over him just in basic One Piece videos, do I need to explain it? Yes, I do. Backstory. I will still say he has the saddest backstory of any Straw Hat, and I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, Robin's is a close second. But you can't touch his back. You can't tell me when you fucking you were trapped on a boat for 50 years, surrounded by the corpses of your dead friends, and you can't do anything about it. That isn't sad and fucked up on so many levels. Just I love Brook. I love his sense of humor. I love his a fighting style, which is essentially music-based attacks. The only thing about his fight style I don't inherently like is the fact that he's technically just another swordsman. Other than that, I could give a fuck less. Cause music-based attacks and the whole undead thing, skull jokes, that's probably would argue those are like my favorite types of jokes in the series in general. And obviously that's not like it's the only funny joke, but it's, come on, the fucking skull jokes, man. You can't just, where's my season 6 Funimation? I love Brook. I love Brook. Fucking afro. His honor as a man. He's a pervert who's actually funny. Sanji. Yeah, out there. Shots fired. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I love Brook for that shit. To me, it's just... It is so hard to just give him proper respect because he's dead. None of you saw what I did there. It's okay. Fuck you. He's a cool character. He's one of those characters who shouldn't be as cool as he is, But when he goes in, I'm just like, oh, I'm done. He just has that. He has that same kind of, oh my God, it's Brooke. He has the same. He's kind of like Usopp in that sense. It's like I see him on screen and he's about to fight somebody. I'm just like, oh, Brooke's on screen. Everybody, shut the fuck up. Brooke is on screen because Thriller Bark, favorite arc, and 90% of it is just because Brooke is in it, because it's Brooke's arc. I love Brooke, but there are two that I love more. Not like a huge, whoa. And next, number two. Let's just move on to number two. Everybody knows I'm such a fanboy of you. The First Lady. I call you the First Lady of Straw Hats because fuck this bitch. Fuck this bitch. Robin Swan. My aneurysm. Oh. None of you should be surprised she's on this list. The only probably thing about you that you're surprised about is that she's not number one. But I can't put her number one for obvious reasons. But damn it, Robin. Oh, see. And here's the thing about Robin that people need to understand where my fanboy comes from. My fanboy of Robin comes from a variety of things. Now, am I gonna say I fell in love with her as soon as she was introduced? Nah. Like, I'll put it this way, because she's introduced as a villain, kind of like Frankie. But I think what sells Robin is because of what she ends up adding to the overall story of One Piece in general, and then her character because I think she is considered to have the most character development of the Straw Hats, next to maybe people like Usopp, Frankie. I think those are really the top tier ones, and then you could probably throw in some little bit of like Nami and a little bit of like Luffy and shit like that, and Chopper, but fucking Robin. And consider she has like the best, it's like the second best backstory in my opinion. Just, she's full of win. I also love her humor. I love the fact that she's on that whole dark, pessimistic humor, which changes because she's kind of pessimistic in the beginning, but like after CP9, she warms up to everybody and everything. You start getting more of her personality, which is that whole growth thing that we talk about with Robin, because Robin is just awesome like that. I like her ability. Once I get older, I like to see her in more fights to see how far she can take that shit, but she's like the assassin of the fucking crew. I mean, because her ability is like meant to just take out niggas from a distance. Like, she's not which kind of sucks, but her ability really isn't meant for like close, I'm a brawl with your motherfucking ass. Like, she's that bitch that be in the back choking out a nigga and then get the key and then like help her friends out. And Usopp and Chubby be like, where'd you get the key, Robin? Robin be like, I borrowed it. Like, Robin's that chick. Yeah, Robin's that chick. Robin's that chick you don't fuck with, period. Like, she's one of those conniving women. Like, she's not as conniving as Nami, but she's very fucking sneaky. So does, like, Robin's that chick she has, like, that really calm, nice demeanor, which will put you into a false sense of security, and then, like, you turn around and you get shanked, and you're like, oh! Robin is that chick. And I love her sense of humor. I love her interactions with the crew. It just, because she's like she's the least hyperactive, that brings a very interesting dynamic with whoever she's with. Like, for example, it's not like Brooke and Sanji don't go through their perverted motions with Robin. Robin just doesn't take it the same way Nami takes it. Like, and I guess they've made, Oda's made references, and the anime makes references all the fucking time. The Straw Hats are like a fucking family. If Nami's like the big sister, then you consider Robin like the aunt or the mother. Which is why you consider Brooke like the crazy grandpa. Which is also kind of, I guess, the reason why they ship Robin and Frankie together. Because Frankie is considered to be like the fatherish figure. Not like full on, like people think of him as uncle. But like you would put him and Robin together because they seem like they'd be on that older, more mature generation, except Robin's the only one who actually acts more mature because it's fucking Robin and she's fucking beautiful. The only thing I don't like about Robin is that she gets like the worst hand in terms of outfits in the majority of the arcs. Like, I usually hate her outfits in most of the arcs. Like,
I don't like her original outfit's kind of like I can kind of take, but it's still kind of stupid because it's a fucking cowboy outfit. Like, I can take it or leave it. Her Scorpio outfit is okay. Water 7 and CP9 don't like that black leather bullshit. Like, my favorite outfits for her is her time skip, Strong World and Z outfits. Like, I love those outfits. Or that Z special one, the blue like sweater. That, oh god, shit's so cute. The Strong World outfit is fucking beautiful. But fuck her CP9 outfit. I do like her Thriller Bark outfit. But like, Robin usually gets like the short hand that sticks when it comes to outfits. Granted, Frankie kind of does too, but that's besides the fucking point. That's just a little side note. But yeah, I fucking love Robin. But even she cannot compare to the awesomeness that is number 1. And you have a good idea of who the fuck it is, but let's just get into it and you'll truly see who is my number 1 Straw Hat. I'm going to try to sing this and I'm probably going to fuck it up, but we're going to do it anyway. Come aboard and bring along all your hopes and dreams. Together we will find the great thing that we're looking for. One Piece. Was there any doubt in your mind? The Captain! She. People do. Oh yeah, just a side note. People don't realize that Luffy does have a distinct laugh, but the reason why you don't recognize it is because in the dub they don't do it, and it's not like something that's as prevalent as everyone else's laughs. But Luffy does have a distinct laugh. Just throwing it out there. Anyways, let's get into the reason why I picked Luffy for my number 1. And it's not really too hard to figure out. To me, Luffy is my favorite kind of main character. And I like him because he's probably one of the only Shonen Jump heroes that really technically isn't a hero. And if people don't want to see, the thing about Luffy is that Luffy's one of those like simple, deep characters that I love. Because humans aren't just naturally fucking deep and complex human beings off the bat. They're usually simple creatures that have different layers to them. And you really won't ever see those layers until certain situations bring out themselves. To me, Luffy's like the greatest fucking example of that. Because Luffy, for the most part, is a pretty simple guy, which is what I relate to. I'm a pretty simple guy by nature, too. And I think the thing I love about him is what he represents in the morals that he spits. Like, to me, characters like Naruto, or you take like other stereotypical main characters who are all about protecting the peace and justice and shit, and pretty much becoming martyrs in their own universes, is to me not something you should emulate. People just want you to emulate certain aspects of characters like Naruto, which is the whole protecting your friends and not killing people and shit. But Luffy to me represents exactly what you should do in life, which is you should have a lot of fucking fun and help others. Like, he still represents those same kind of Shonen Jump tropes, but the one thing he doesn't represent is the thing about being a martyr. Luffy is not a motherfucking martyr. Luffy does what the fuck he wants. That is human nature. You should be a nice person. You should be giving, and you should care about others and care about your friends and protect your friends and shit. But you should always remember to not slight yourself just because of that shit. Because Luffy does whatever the fuck he wants. He's like, I think Fishman Island to me gave us like the best quote that represents that shit. He's like, I like heroes, but I would never become one. Because a hero will share all his meat with everybody. He's like, no, fuck that. I want to eat all my meat. Just, to me, that represents Luffy to a T, and that's the shit I like about him, is that he's not trying to be Jesus. He's not trying to be the motherfucking god of his universe. He doesn't give a fuck. I mean, even we go by power levels, Luffy is not the strongest character in One Piece. Luffy does not aim to be the strongest. He aims to be strong enough, and that's a different fucking thing. That's different from being the strongest. Luffy just cares about being strong enough to protect his friends and to go into his journey and to get the motherfucking One Piece. The man said he had no problem dying for that dream. He does not give a flying fuck. He does what he wants, but at the same time he upholds his morals and he stands by his ground. That's That's the reason why Luffy is number one. He's probably one of my favorite main characters in Shonen Jump, period. Because of that mindset. I like that. I like the fact that he's not trying to be a fucking martyr. Oh, I have to protect my country and shit. No, fuck that. I mean, he can respect that. But he's like, I ain't about that life. Give me some chicken and some beer. I'm good. Just going to Popeyes. Fuck this shit. That's why I love Luffy. Also, because he has like the weirdest type of comedy, and I like his whole interactions and how he gets people into his side, and how he doesn't seem to give a fuck about a lot of things you think a lot of people should care about. It's like, oh, my dad is Monkey D. Dragon, or my grandfather's in the fucking Navy. So, fuck. That's what I love. Luffy has like the epitome of the type of attitude I love. He has the I don't give a fuck mentality. And guess what? The I don't give a fuck mentality is cool as shit. Most of the time. But then, and once again, he has the same type of morals as a Shonen Jump hero. Protects his friends. Fight for the weak and all that kind of shit. But he does not forget to be selfish and steal things that he was going to be given presents as and shit. He's stupid, but I love him. He's my number one because of those things. So, who are your top 5 favorite Straw Hats? People are going to rage at this list because I didn't put Zoro and Sanji on this list. And people can't stand when Zoro and Sanji are on top anything with fucking Straw Hats regarded in this damn shit. Shit, no, it has to be Straw Hats because in One Piece in general I can understand why. Well, maybe I can understand why Sanji wouldn't be on the list. Zoro would probably always be on the motherfucking list because motherfucking Zoro just how it is. But if you've been watching my videos for a while, you probably know why they're not on this list. But I may talk about it in a future date. But for right now, I'm leaving it as is and let people rage in the comments section. So, thank you guys for watching. What are your favorite Straw Hats? Waffles. Life's a game, play to win. And I guess the only thing left to say is peace-o. Oh, I caught it. One piso. Or should I say, yayo, yayo. And only real hardcore One Piece fans are going to know what that's from. Training, don't give it up, Luffy. Ah! Piso.
Enter Masuzu, a transfer student who happens to be hot as hell and every guy wants to get with her.